Hello, friends. How are you doing today? It's Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And hey, I've been thinking about this video for a little while now, actually since Mother's Day. I've been thinking about trying to create a video sort of aimed at the ladies that were in my life or are in my life, and try to create a talk track about why I think buy and hold in real estate investing could be, that key to financial freedom. And I've really been thinking about this since Mother's Day because, of what I experienced growing up. Without going into any of the gory details, my parents were both married young. One of them was a teenager at the time. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She raised my sister and I until we were both in high school. What that meant is it was very clear that she was financially dependent on my father. And let's just say that wasn't a healthy relationship. And, I've admitted many times that money was a stressor in my youth. And I've had money problems or money, I've always wanted more and more and more growing up because of what I saw. And I saw my mother stress about, cry about, do all of those things. So the oldest son, seeing his mother, I'll just call it stressed about money. It's always worn on me. So I wanted to create a video for the ladies and really talk about why I think, learning the skill of buy and hold real estate is something that's perfect for you. I know, obviously, I come to this, this talk as a man, but I am going to try to put it in a context that I wish my mother would have saw when I was a young boy. Because I think she could have changed her financial position and maybe gotten out of a bad relationship sooner instead of suffering what she sacrificed and suffered through, which was not a lot of fun, I'm sure. So first and foremost, what I teach and talk about, learning the skill of identifying, creating undervalued real estate, doing your homework. It is really a process. It is really the closest thing I can think of is it's almost like a recipe, right? It's do these things, right? Get used to it. And then you add your own flavor, right? It's not much more complicated than that. And that's what I teach in the course is, go and look at a market, get super tight in the beginning, right? Zip code, property type, size, square footage, whatever you want. The smaller, the better, right? Try to get to a list of 30 or 40. And then what you do is as you do that over and over, you're going to start to build knowledge, and then you're going to start to expand your scope. So we talk about that a lot. But why do I think this would have been great for my mother? Let's call it 30 years ago. Well, it's the same thing today. If a young mom or whatnot happens to see this video, is you're clearly willing to sacrifice and put in the work. My mother did amazing things and was willing to do whatever it took to stretch a dollar and to do all these things. And if she could have just taken some of that energy and put it into learning the market, right? We lived in a town called Sunnyvale. If she would have just literally walked the blocks, I'm positive that she would have been able to set herself up financially for a better future, right? Just by doing one or two deals. And again, that would have gotten her out of a relationship that she stayed in for too long because she had no money and no income, and it was just terrible. And it still haunts me. So realize your kids see that because it still bothers me to this day. The other thing is putting in the work. You can do it in odd hours. It's not like, hey, you've got to do this from 9 to 11 a.m. and while you're dealing with the kids or you're getting them to school or whatever you're doing. And again, I'm talking to my mom here, right? You can do it when the kids go down, or you could do it on a lunch break, or you could do it on the weekend, whatever, right? So the beauty of learning a market is you can do it off hours, and you could do it in little chunks, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And especially with mobile technology today, you can learn it a lot faster and then build up that repetition and really start to learn your market. And by learning your market, you can start to identify deals and look for profit and build network. And there's so many things that come your way, but it starts with doing the work. And I know for a fact, if somebody was talking to my mom and she got this, she would have been willing to do the work. And again, she would have changed her future and her kids' futures 30 years ago. The other thing that is really important about doing this is a people business. I talk about that, and one of the most important things is talking to sellers. And some of the best people I've seen talk to sellers are ladies. I don't know what it is. I guess guys, at least, again, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes we're seen as being overtly aggressive. We try to, we're very focused on win-lose. And most of the ladies that I know naturally come to negotiations and conversations from a win-win, silver lining, everybody's winning together. And that's what it takes. And frankly, most guys don't get that. And that's what I try to help them understand is you got to stop being, it's not a win-lose, right? That's not how you get the deals, right? You have to come in this from a very win-win attitude. And most of the ladies that I speak with and I help sort of do that naturally. And it's really a blessing that you have. And you should use that and leverage that and have the more conversations you can have with potential sellers and potential partners and all of that, the better off you'll be. And then the last thing is, I think you're one skill away, right? I really do believe if you can spend, maybe it's 90 days, who knows, right? Maybe it's 90 days to learn your market in one zip code for one property type. But if you find the time over 90 days to do that, you have learned a valuable skill that you'll be able to do for the rest of your life. You'll be able to do in your backyard if you move, whatever you want. You'll be able to do that. That's the beauty of this, what I teach in the courses. If you can learn the skill of learning a market and understanding what a bad, average, good, and great deal are, you are going to be very, very valuable. You'll be able to partner with people. You could potentially wholesale deals. But you'll basically have learned a skill that most people don't. Most of the guys that I speak to just want to dive in and start, they want to go 20% off list price of everything. Well, that doesn't work. That's not how this system's supposed to work. You're supposed to do your homework up first, spend 90 days, learn your market, understand, be able to rank them top to bottom. And that's why my process that I teach of learning a market, evaluating, understanding deals, comparing deals, building a team, is I think something my mother would have picked up in spades. She would have done it as she could, but she would have been committed. And again, it bothers me still to this day. I think you can see that, but she would have been able to have a much better control of her financial position. And I'm positive be able to get out of a toxic relationship earlier if she had more financial wherewithal. So I just wanted to have that conversation. Again, this has been bugging me since Mother's Day. So I finally wanted to record something and put it out there. All right. I guess the last thing is if you're still watching this, you should go to the, look at the course. There is a coupon code. It's WEB50. So you save $50. So it's not $199, it's $149 for you. But again, do the homework, learn your course, build your skill, and you'll have something you could use for the next, 3, 4, 5 decades. And I think you'll be better off. All right. Take care. Thanks.